Hey guys, what's going on? It's SFMO6 here with some more Battlefield 3 multiplayer, and this video is going to be a Battlefield 3 assault or medic class overview, but it's going to be much broader than my other videos. It's going to be covering the whole class, and obviously in this video I'm running the assault class. I'm using the AN94 just because, I don't know, just because when I kill people with it, it makes me laugh. Just because it's like, yeah, I still killed you even though I'm using a completely ridiculously bad weapon. It's not that bad. I don't know if it's because it's been buffed or because it has a foregrip on it now, but the recoil is a lot less than it used to be, and it's still really bad. The rate of fire isn't compensated. It has a lower rate of fire than all the other ARs, and it still has more recoil than all of them, and it doesn't have any more damage. So yeah, I fail. I'm trying to destroy this little bird, and I kill myself. I'm trying to destroy it so nobody can get in it because I didn't really want to fly it, and I killed myself, which is slightly embarrassing, but we'll move on. So I'm using the AN94 in this video, and first off, we'll just go over the weapons that you can use in the assault, in like the assault medic class. Those are assault rifles. So most of their like sweet spots, if you say, are medium range, around about 25 to 40 meters, and then depending on what gun it is, you know, say right here with the A94, just like that's just not gonna happen. But depending on what gun it is, it can be longer or shorter than that. I know that I've already covered a few of the guns in the assault thing in other videos. Like my first video was like F2000 AEK famous, but on that video people have been complaining because the game audio and my commentary audio isn't really well balanced, and I'm just gonna go back over that quickly. And also I've already done L85A2 video, but I won't use too much time on those weapons. But we'll start from the start just to stop from being scattered. So the first guns you unlock, the guns that you start with, are the M16A3 and the AK-74M. The M16 for the American side and the AK for the Russian side. While the M16 probably has a higher rate of fire. All the assault rifles except for the G3A3, they all have the same damage. So it pretty much comes down to rate of fire and recoil, and maybe a little bit on reload time. So doing the M16 and the AK-74, even though you don't really get a choice until you like get a service star on the assault kit, the M16 is better just because it has has a faster reload time, and it has a faster rate of fire, and the recoil is pretty comparable because of the AK's slower, like less rate of fire. It has a lower recoil value, but that doesn't balance out compared to the M16. So the next gun you're going to get after you've been using the assault for a little bit and you like get first gun is going to be the M416. Now this gun is pretty good. It has pretty damn low recoil, it has a pretty high rate of fire, and its reload isn't that bad. So it's you know, it's a pretty good all-round gun. It can be used pretty much in most cases. You know, you're not going to get into a position where you're pretty much always going to lose, unless like obviously you're across the map from a sniper or something like that. You always have a pretty good chance with the M416, and yeah, if you're looking for a gun that you can, if like keep getting trapped in close range with something stupid like the A94 or like one of the like the M16 for example isn't doing it for you in long range and you're getting frustrated, the M416 is always a good backup weapon to be good at and is very useful for a lot of encounters. The AK-971 is the next one. I've already covered this in one of the other videos, but I'll just quickly go over it. It has a high rate of fire, although people let me know in the comments that it has been nerfed down from 900 to 750, which is pretty significant. That puts it below or or like either below or on par with all the other assault rifles. It's still pretty good. That lower rate of fire means it now has like a lower overall recoil, which is pretty helpful. So it's not as good as it used to be, but it's still a pretty viable option. It's still useful. After those people commented, I used it for a little bit and I got some pretty good games with it. So it's definitely not like nerfed to hell. It's not like the infrared scope where it's impossible to use. It's still usable and still pretty good. The F2000 is, like I've already said, the F2000 is another good all-round weapon. Has a pretty high rate of fire, pretty low recoil. If you just use it like I do with the ACOG scope of 3.4, you pretty much keep yourself in a good position to win most gunfights. I don't know where the M16A4 comes into this, but it's more or less the M16A3, but the burst fire mode, which can be useful in negating recoil, but it's pretty much the same. It's identical. It has this pretty fast reload time, and even though it's burst fire, it still has like the M4, the burst version M4A1. It still has like the first 3 bursts fire off the same speed as the fully automatic version. So your first 3 bursts of 3 bullets, your first 9 bullets are going to be pretty much fully automatic if you tap it fast, and then it slows down to like a slower burst fire. So you can kill somebody almost like the gun is fully automatic if you know how to use it and if you get those first shots on target. Now the gun I'm using now, the A94, like I said, it's the worst assault rifle. It's not the worst gun in the game, but it's definitely the worst assault rifle. Well, at least I don't think it's the worst gun in the game. I would take this over, the recon, most of the recon guns, because, it's an assault rifle. It's still good, as you can see. This isn't like the best gameplay, it's just some random gameplay I got. And, it's decent at close range, it's not very good. It does have a full auto mode, but one, I can't really be bothered to swap it over every time because it starts in burst fire, and 2, because it's ridiculous recoil. If you do it in full auto, unless you're really close range, you're pretty much gonna get pwned. The next weapon is G3A3. Although it's been nerfed, they said they're gonna buff back up. And what are you doing, sniper? Like, you can't even kill me. I just killed you. And then this guy at the USAS kills me like 20 times in this game. G3A3 is a higher bullet damage than the other assault rifles and pretty much any other gun in the game. It did get nerfed a little bit in one of the patches, but they're gonna buff it back up apparently. But I've used it. Like, it's pretty much one of the few guns which I don't have a service star on, just because I haven't really been bothered to use it. And it's not that bad, but alternative to what you might think, it's actually better in close range. If you get in close range games with it and you can full auto the guy and just don't even worry about recoil, it's very useful. But also, unfortunately, it only has a 20 bullet mag with like the extra 1 bullet in the chamber thing, and that can sometimes hinder you when you're coming across like groups of 3-4 guys, and it's pretty much impossible to kill them unless you're absolutely pinpoint accurate. Next gun, the KS2002, is actually really good. It's probably one of the most underrated guns in the game. So this is one that you get from co-op. I think you get the G3A3 from co-op as well. But the KS2002 is a 3-round burst gun. It's only 3-round bursting. It's 3-round burst and single fire mode as well. It's pretty damn good. Like with the other burst weapons, the M16 and the M4, like the M16A4 and the M4, the first few bursts fire off like the gun is fully automatic. The first few bursts are pretty much fully automatic. Not like the A94. The A94 is just stupid. But the M16A4 and the M4 and the KS2002, the first few bursts fire off like the gun is fully automatic. There's no hindrance rate of fire because of the burstness until you get about to the 4th or 5th burst. So KS2002 has a very low recoil. The reload is relatively slow, but it's still manageable. I don't see reload as that big of a hindrance, unless like you just run into like a hallway or something stupid like that, still reloading. The next gun, which I've already talked about in another video, so I'm not going to talk about too much. So L85A2 is a pretty good long range gun. It has a pretty low recoil. It has obviously the same damage. It has a pretty like once again relatively slow reload, but once again that doesn't really matter. So if you're looking for a good long range assault rifle and you don't want to use a burst fire weapon like the KF2002, the L85 is the way to go, and it's pretty much the best fully automatic long range weapon. I don't know what these guys are doing here, but best fully automatic long range weapon in the game, excluding like LMGs with bipods, pretty much, or pretty much anything with bipods, because you can put bipods on stuff, but I don't use it. And the FEMIS, or like the L85, you unlock after the FEMIS, I don't really care. The FEMIS is the last gun I'm going to cover. I've already covered it in my first video, but just to reiterate, unless you don't really know what the FEMIS is, you've been living on a rock or some stupid stuff, the FEMIS is pretty much obviously the same damage as the other assault rifles, and a pretty, like, on the recoil scale, I think it's like tied for the lowest recoil with the F2000, and it also has a pretty high rate of fire. So pretty much you can't go wrong with the FEMIS, but then again, if you use it, I will hate you. So don't do it. It's a troll move. If you use the FEMIS, or if you use a USAS 12 frag rounds, it's not even necessarily because OP or because I can't beat you. It's just because you know that when you use it, you're being a loser, but you just don't care, which I don't like. I do use these weapons on occasion, like if I'm getting spawn camped and my team's just getting pwned, I'm just like, USAS 12 frag rounds for the win. But other than that, like, I'd never start a game with USAS 12 frag rounds. And I don't think I'm going to use the FEMIS for a while because I'm trying to get the service star and all the guns, and I already have it for the FEMIS. So, yes, if you don't really care about what other people think about you, FEMIS is probably the best option to go. Other than that, I would probably recommend the F2000 and the AEK. But pretty much all these assault rifles are good at pretty much any range. So, you can't really go wrong with assault rifles, which is one of the greatest things about them. And yeah, if you're gonna get into the assault medic class, that's the basics of the weapons. But obviously, it's a full class. Battlefield 3 is a class-based game. Each class has a specific role, and even though it's called the assault class, it's actually a medic class. So what you start off with is going to be, I'm not sure if you just start off with the medic pack and you have to unlock the defibs. I think that was what it was in Back on Me 2. But regardless, after 2 seconds, you're going to have the medic pack and you're going to have the defibs. So the medic pack is very useful because pretty much what it is, just throws down mobile health regeneration for your teammates. But this is so much more useful than it sounds, because if you get shot, it takes somewhere between 10 and 15 seconds before you get your health back. And if you're playing hardcore, you don't get your health back at all. So if you throw down a medic pack, the regeneration starts instantly, and also it regenerates at a faster rate than you would normally recover. And also, just for like a random fact, if you stand on a medic bag and like it disappears because the guy throws down another one, or you run away from it, it only takes 1.5 more seconds. I sort of screwed up here. It only takes 1.5 more seconds to start recovering your health rather than 10 to 15. So even if you just like run over one, it's a big help. So medic packs, throw them down as much as possible because they will help your team so much more. And the defib is what you're always going to have. You're always going to have your defib. I don't think you can, I'm pretty sure, like I'm 99.99% sure, you can't replace your defib with anything. And you can't even turn it off. So you're always going to have your defib. And this is, not only does this let your teammates get back in the fight quicker, because obviously dead teammates, you can revive them before they respawn. So it gets them back into the fight quicker, back into the action quicker, rather than spawning way back at their base or their nearest teammate. But also, it's crucial if you're on rush and you're attacking. Obviously the attackers have like tickets. If you die, you lose a ticket. But if you get revived, your team gains that ticket back. So pretty much, if everybody gets revived when you're rush attacking, if every single person gets revived, you never lose a ticket. Well, that's pretty hard to do. You know, same thing. If everybody does it, it's useful. I'm not saying everybody has to go medic, but if everybody who is medic does it, it's very helpful to the team. And on Conquest, like I'm playing now, on Conquest not only do you bleed tickets from not having the majority of flags, but you also lose a ticket for everybody that has to respawn. So every time you die and you respawn, your team loses a ticket. If you die and you get defibed back to life, then your team keeps that ticket. So obviously in close matches where, like, you know, there's only a few tickets in it, it's very, very helpful to just have a few good medics that are running around and not exclusively defibbing people, but certainly making an effort to defib as many people as possible and keep them in the battle. So the other equipment that a medic has, or an assault rather has, is his M320, which is pretty much a 40mm launcher, 40mm launcher that can fire a lot of ammo types if you unlock them. So it's single fire, it takes probably 2 seconds to reload it in between each shot, but it's 40 mils, very, very, very powerful. So the base one you're going to get is a grenade launcher. Obviously you're probably being killed by it a lot in Operation Metro and stuff like that. It has a pretty good lethal kill radius, you know, better than RPG, better than small. It has a very good lethal kill radius, and it can do, depending on, like, against heavy armor, it probably only does like 5% damage. Against light armor, it can disable like Humvees and like buggies and stuff like that in just like 1 or 2 shots, which is very useful to have as a, you know, as an assault player. So, and that's pretty much your only explosive that you're gonna have as assault as well. So it can be useful. I run medic pack just because it gets me a shit ton of points, but you know, whatever floats your boat, I suppose. The other thing, you're going to have the M320, you're going to have the M320 Buck, which is just a 40mm shotgun shell, lethal to about 15 meters or like even faster. Just imagine how far I can kill someone in one shot with an 870 and just add 10 meters onto that. That's if you get a good shot. Unfortunately, it's very, very, very like varied in the results that you get. You know, sometimes you're going to hit a guy from 5 meters and it's not going to kill him. Sometimes you're going to shoot a guy from 25 meters away and you're just going to get 40 in one shot. It's very variable what you're going to get, very inconsistent, so it's probably not the best option if like you're looking for something consistent, but it's definitely good one-on-one. You're always going to win if you have it, more or less. You can get a good shot off. And also the M320 smoke is very underused, and it pretty much throws down a massive cloud of smoke wherever you shoot it, and that cloud of smoke is very thick, you can't see through it at all, and it lasts for probably 20-40 seconds. So throw it down on an objective, you guys can get in and plan it, considering douchebags don't have Claymore set up on it or something. Running out of time here, just gonna say the M26 Mass is a shotgun that assault rifles have. Its pump action is pretty good, something that you might want to consider as well, but you know, pretty much assault rifles can perform at close range anyway, so I don't really need a shotgun. Well, I wouldn't think you need one unless you just run out of bullets. But anyway, this gameplay is winding down. Thanks for watching, guys. If you know, if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like, favorite it, you know, subscribe to my channel, because I will be doing many more Battlefield 3 videos, both just normal gameplays and videos like this, which are, you know, more tips and tricks, more helpful videos of both weapons and equipment to pretty much help you get better at Battlefield, help people, you know, play the objective and stuff. And hopefully, guys, I will see you next time.